I am now up to 4 subscribers now, and I'm really happy about it. Usually people make a video to celebrate when they get 100 or 100,000 or 1,000 or something like that, or 1,000,000. No, I celebrate when I get 4. I mean, to have 4 subscribers just makes me feel glorious. Hopefully it should keep going, and I'll progress.
Natalie has more subscribers than you.
Excuse me?
Natalie has 12 subscribers. You have 4.
Well, you know, it's not about how many subscribers you have. I mean, I know I'm making a video saying that I'm happy, but it's...
You should feel embarrassed that you don't have as many subscribers as Natalie.
Well, to be fair, she did start YouTube earlier than me. I mean, she's been doing this for longer.
Have you ever considered that Natalie is much more likable than you, and that nobody likes to watch your videos, and that they just subscribe to you out of pity?
Make me feel glorious once more.
Dear Natalie, I'm afraid I've fallen off the wagon a bit. I'm sorry. I haven't turned to drink or anything like that. You don't have to worry. I'm not becoming an alcoholic. But I like to keep my options open. Seriously though, I have kind of a book buying addiction. I like to buy books because I love books. I love reading them. I find you escape into your own world, especially with fiction books, but I also love reading history books because I'm mad on history. What am I doing with my hands? I buy both fiction books and I also buy history books. I buy the fiction books because I like how you can imagine characters, and I read history books so I can expand my knowledge because it's really interesting. I love history. It's best. But yeah, I shouldn't be buying books, and I know, Natalie, you've said that I shouldn't buy any more books. But I did. Let's start with the big box, shall we? Okay, what have we got here? What the heck? Well, this is a shock for me. I got this. The 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared. I didn't order this. What's this doing in here? I didn't order this. Why have they sent me this? Over 6 million copies sold worldwide. How many were shipped to people who didn't want them? That's what I want to know. I hope they haven't charged me for this. I bought this. Alright, first one's it's a history book. It's called Lenin, Stalin and Hitler. It sort of draws parallels between Lenin, Stalin and Hitler and sort of the autocratic regimes that they put in place during their time of rule. How can I sell this to you? It's got Lenin's face as his eye, as the eye. It's got his face. It's got a picture. This is a good one. This is a fiction. It's called The Reading Promise by Alice Ozma. I don't know what attracted me to this book. I read about it in a book magazine promoting new books, and I really like the concept of it. I'll read you a bit of the blurb because this is what sort of hooked me. This is not a book about books. This is a book about people. This is a book about the love between a father and a daughter, and of bonds that last a lifetime. It is a book about 3,218 nights that Alice and her father spent reading, and the quilt of their lives, woven together by the books they shared. For reading with someone is an act of love, and this is, above all else, a love story. Some might say it's not the manliest of books, but I don't care. I think it was quite interesting, because obviously I love reading, that's why I've got all these books, and I would just like to hear sort of the story behind this, because it just sounds interesting. How to cure the plague, and other curious remedies. I think he needs to give his assistant a bit of food. Send him out to KFC or something. He's looking a bit thin. He looks like he's been to KFC too many times. It's sort of loads of medieval remedies. And so like to staunch the bleeding of a wound, to draw up the uvula, to draw up the... I'm not going to say that one. I think it would just be quite funny to see what they thought would cure things back in the day. This next book is called Lowe and the Dictators, and it's David Lowe's cartoons. David Lowe was a political cartoonist during the time of World War II and a bit before, and he would draw cartoons for the papers about Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, I always enjoyed looking at his pictures in the history books. I mean, come on, that's what we all did. We all just, when we got a textbook, we flicked to the pictures just to see what they were. This is the last history book, I promise. It's a nice thick one as well. It's called The Blunders of Our Government, and I'm guessing it's a bit funny, because it's about the stupid things which prime ministers and people in government have done. Some examples I'll give you is the government wasted up to £20 billion in a failed scheme to update the London's underground system. Tony Blair committed the NHS to the biggest civilian IT project the world has ever seen, despite knowing next to nothing about computing. Last book, and it's not a history book, funnily enough. It's called The Novel Cure, and it's basically you just say, oh, I feel down. Let's look up down in this, like use it like a dictionary, and it'll give you a quote or something from a famous book. Some give you extracts from famous books, some give you a conversation from a play, others give you just loads of quotes, some list books which they suggest you read. For this one, I've looked up 100, or being over 100, and it says the 10 best novels for the over 100s. A Little of What You Fancy, Solo, The Confessions of Max Tivoli, Oldest Living Confederate Widow Tells All, The Glass Bead Game, The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. That's this book! I seriously did not get this. I did not look up where this book was in here. I just was looking for stuff because everything was like feeling empty and stuff, and I thought that was too melancholy for this video, and so I just saw 100 being over, and it's one of the lists. My goodness! My goodness gracious me. Great gobs of goober. I'm in shock. Out of all the letters in the alphabet, I pick O. Out of all the extracts under O, I pick 100 being over, because that's what it says. 100 being over. And the 6th entry is the title of that book. Well, I just can't get over that. I mean, what are the odds? Is that why they sent this to me? I'm not over 100. What are the odds? Seriously.